Chapter 2 of our book, Who Was George Washington? Chapter 2, Mount Vernon. At Mount Vernon, a whole new world opened up for George. Now he mixed with the richest families in Virginia. He went fox hunting and to fancy balls. Shy and a little awkward, George wanted to fit in very badly, so he took dancing lessons. In time, George became an excellent dancer. George took fencing lessons and learned about music. He wore nicer clothes. He also wrote himself a long list of rules about good manners. One of the rules was about not spitting into a fire while meat was being cooked in it. Another rule was to avoid killing fleas and lice in the presence of other people. Lawrence's in-laws, the Fairfaxes, were one of the richest families in Virginia. They owned huge tracts of land. There were no maps yet of the west part of the colony, so people often hired surveyors. A surveyor's job was to measure and mark property boundaries. It was the perfect job for George. He loved the outdoors, was quick at math, and needed to earn money. Besides no map, there were no roads in western Virginia. It was wilderness. So as a surveyor, George lived a rough life. For weeks on end, he'd wear the same clothes, sleep on the ground along with other hired men, cook over an open fire, and try to steer clear of hostile bands of Indians. George grew to be a broad-shouldered young man with clear blue-gray eyes and reddish-brown hair. He wore it in a ponytail. At 6'2", he was often the tallest person in a group. His hands and feet were huge. Except for his bad teeth, he was in excellent health. Lawrence, unfortunately, had much more serious health problems. He developed a terrible cough. In the hope that warm weather might help his brother, George and Lawrence sailed to the island of Barbados off Venezuela. It was George Washington's first and only trip outside North America. Sadly, Lawrence's health did not improve, and George came down with smallpox, another deadly disease. George survived. Lawrence, however, died. In 1752, with George at his bedside, it was a terrible blow for George. He was only 20 and he had lost the person he loved most. George Washington not only loved Lawrence, he respected him. Lawrence had been an officer in the militia. A militia is a group of part-time soldiers who are not part of the regular army. Now Lawrence's post was open. George took his brother's place. Just a little fun fact about George's teeth, where they said George had bad teeth. And remember our lesson on brushing our teeth, how we supposed to take good care in brushing our teeth at least 2 times a day. But a fun fact about George is, even as a young man, George had problems with his teeth. They caused him a great deal of pain. By the time he became president, he had only one real tooth left. He had to wear false teeth. There were stories about a set of Washington's teeth being made out of wood, but that isn't true. Most often, ivory from elephants, hippos, and other animals was used. The teeth were set into a metal base with heavy springs. Not only painful to wear, the false teeth made it difficult to eat. They pushed out his lips in an unnatural way that embarrassed Washington. No wonder paintings of George Washington as an older man never show him smiling. One set of Washington's false teeth is displayed at Mount Vernon. It's one of the most popular exhibits. So remember, take good care in brushing your teeth so we won't lose our teeth at an early age. And we're supposed to brush our teeth how many times a day? 2 times a day, in the morning, at night, and you can also get you an extra if you want to after you eat at every meal. But take care of your teeth. We'll see you the next time for chapter 3. Bye.